Starting an e-commerce business can be life-changing. It can be very exciting in the beginning and people just jump into it without doing a lot of research, and that can lead to a lot of failures and people also lose a lot of money. If they continue to make the business work, they end up wasting a lot more money and time only to later learn the important facts of running an e-commerce business. In today's video, we'll discuss 7 important things that you should know before starting an e-commerce business. Let's go. It breaks my heart to see small businesses fail, and so these 7 things will help you to shape and grow your business. Let's jump right into it. So number 1 is, what is your brand story? Your brand needs a story. What is the story that you're telling your customers about your brand? When and how was your brand born, and what was the inspiration behind it? People love a good story and they love the emotion of it. When people get to know the story behind a brand, it makes them feel connected and it makes them feel a part of the brand, which is a huge point for sales. Now, you don't need to have a story, but you can always create one. People love when they find out it's a family business. People love it when they find out there are emotions attached to it and this was born at a difficult time. Or, they also love that if this brand is attached to any kind of donation or charity. People love the association of donation with the brand, where a certain amount gets donated when someone makes a purchase from the website, or when one of those Save the Plant missions are there with a brand where 1 tree is planted when their customers purchase an item. Point is, your brand needs a story and a mission, and it will hugely benefit from it. Next up, on number 2, we have market research and pre-launch strategy. Now, I've put both of these together because they both come hand in hand and they are related to each other. This is honestly more important than your entire business, your product, or your website. So there are many ways you can do your market research and your pre-launch testing. Usually what happens is that when people launch a product, they launch something that they like. They just pick something that they think will work and they just go ahead with it. They assume that this will sell because they like it so much, so they think that other people will also buy it or like it, but you can't tell for sure that if this will sell. So before going ahead with any product, some kind of research is very, very important. It is important because you'll be able to find out if your product has the best possibility for success. You can do market research, you can do public surveys, and then also another great way to do is to host pre-orders. You can start to run ad campaigns and test it out and see if people are placing any orders of these items. If people start to place orders, then that's great, and then you can let them know that this is the pre-order phase, and then you can take it from there. Now, another thing that people do at this stage is dropshipping. Dropshipping is a full business model by itself, but a lot of people use it to find out if their product will work or not before they fully jump into private labeling or before they launch a brand. Dropshipping allows you to have an e-commerce store without ever having to see your products or ever having to buy inventory. Basically, you display a product on your website, and when someone places an order, you tell the manufacturer to directly ship it to the customer. Your manufacturer gets paid and you keep a certain amount of profit. Now, this is a great pre-launch strategy because now you're able to tell how many sales it actually brings, and so you can decide if you want to spend a ton of money on branding and inventory for this. I have other videos on dropshipping where I discuss more in detail. I'll leave the links for those videos in my description box below. You can check them out if you want. Another important thing that you need to do is, when you decide on a product, before you go ahead with it, try to find more similar products that are already on the market and try to find out the reviews and the good and bad about those products. For example, if you find similar products on Amazon, go to each of those products and check each of the reviews and see what people are complaining about, and try to fix that in your product and then give that to your customers. The goal is to find a way to improve a basic product and to give your customer a better version of that product. So apart from all of the research, another very important thing to do is to run early campaigns and build up the hype for your brand. You can do this by building your socials and posting on there and gaining some early exposure. You can also host a giveaway, and you can also get started with influencer marketing. You don't need to get big influencers on board with a huge fee. You can start just with micro influencers, send them your product in exchange for a video, and you can post that in your socials and they can share with their audience. As mentioned before, you can also do early campaigns and start to run ads, but I don't suggest it so much. Maybe you can just do 1 or 2 test ads because unless you have a lot of money put away for marketing to put in these ads, I do not suggest you to do this in the beginning stages. Start with YouTube and TikTok, create some good content and build a community, and once you've done that, then you'll be ready to sell your products online. So the third point is long-term supplier plan. A lot of people don't plan this and think about it in the beginning, but you must absolutely know and find out who your supplier really is. Really, the best place to look for a supplier is Alibaba. When you're looking for your products in Alibaba, there are a couple of things that you must keep on mind. It's easy to find a product and to tell your supplier to add your logo to it, and that's not even the hard part. A lot of suppliers will just do it for you. But the most important thing that a lot of people forget to check, because they are in such a hurry and rush to get their product and get their brand running, is that if this supplier can be their long-term supplier. To start with, this is where your product is coming from. So in case of an emergency, will the supplier be helpful? Are they selling on Alibaba for only a year or two, or are they selling for over 4 or 5 years? If they have been selling only for a year or two, then probably they are not real manufacturers and they're just middlemen, and you can't tell for sure if they'll be selling this product on Alibaba after the next 2 years. But on the other hand, if your supplier is selling for over 4 to 5 years or 6 to 10 years, which is even better, then chances are that they are a real company and you will not run into a problem like this where you are stuck and you don't have your products and they have disappeared from the platform or something like that. Also, to keep something in mind in the beginning stages is that when are their local holidays and what happens when your supplier goes on holiday, because when they go on holidays, absolutely nothing is operational in their company. And so if you have an emergency or something is wrong with your products, then you know that you have a backup plan for it and you know how to fix it. I have other videos where I explain more in detail on how to select your supplier and what to look for when you're selecting your supplier. I'll leave the link for those videos in my description box below. You can check them out if you want. So number 4 is find your target market. Oftentimes when people start a business, they think that they are selling their products to everyone. If you don't know who you are exactly selling to or who you are exactly approaching with your product, then that will be a huge mistake. Knowing what kind of customers you want to attract will be essential for many reasons. Knowing your ideal client will not only save time, but it will also save your money. If you're trying to reach out to everyone out there aimlessly when you're marketing your product will actually not reach anyone. Another big reason you want to identify your ideal customer before launching your brand is once you target and find your ideal customers who will buy from you, you're gonna get a lot more revenue and a lot more referrals. You need to have a good amount of research done on this before you start to market your products, otherwise you'll be losing a lot of money. So how do you do target marketing and how do you find your ideal customer? I recommend doing this exercise. Take a pen and paper and write down these questions. What kind of people are looking for your product? What kind of people will you be able to help with your product? What age group do they belong? Are they students? Are they retired? What kind of jobs do they have? What kind of people do they hang out with? What are their interests and hobbies? What is their status and income? Try to find out the answers to these questions and this will give you a head start to building your ideal customer avatar. Number 5 is brand recognition. When you have a business, especially e-commerce, you need to make sure that you have a super strong branding and that no one is able to copy your brand so easily. Basically, make sure that your brand offers something that is not so easy to copy. What I'm saying is that when you're building your brand, try to include things in your brand that makes your brand unique and special. It could be getting a patent, it could be great packaging, it could be that you've built a super strong community for women, it could be also that you are the only one who has the best version of this product on the market, or it could also be great customer support that is almost unmatched, or it could also be all of these things together. The idea is that no one can just come and copy that everything you have done, and your brand has something unique to offer to your customers and to your community, and so it is not so easy to just simply come and copy everything that you've done. This brings us to number 6, which ties to number 5, and that is customer support. In e-commerce, the way you treat your customers has everything to do with how successful you will be in the future with this business. If you have the mentality to just get your sales and not care so much about your customers, then that will not be so great in the long run. It's really important that you have very happy customers so they give good and positive reviews, and they will be your organic source of marketing for speaking highly about your brand to their community. 90% of the customers come back to buy more because of their total experience during their purchase, and this has a lot to do with customer support. And we all know this, that there is nothing better than repeat customers. A great way to do this is by building community, as mentioned before, and also giving them a very nice experience during their purchase by just doing a few small things, such as giving them free little gifts like stickers or a motivational card or some little accessory that complements your product or something like that. And this makes a huge difference. And the last one is create an operational manual. Now, what do I mean by this? So in the beginning stages, we are not so much focusing on scaling our business. We just want to have our products sold and recognized, but the earlier we plan it, the better it is. In the beginning stages, you're the one person who's doing everything. You are the graphics designer, you are the website builder. Basically, you are doing all the operations all by yourself. Most likely there are no employees, and so you don't think that this is important to do, but it is a very good idea to record everything that you're doing while you're growing your business. Eventually you'll be hiring, and when you do, you will not be lost, you will not be confused, you will not be confused about the fact that you don't know what to delegate to them, and this will make a huge difference to run your business smoothly. Otherwise, when you hire people, you'll just leave it up to them, and then they'll make mistakes, and then that will be a waste of time and money. So to avoid this, I recommend you to make an operational manual and record everything that you are doing. Create checklists for everything that are operating in a certain way and growing over time. For example, when a customer places an order, you have these, say for example, 5 things on the list that you need to do, and then when you finish an order, you have another 5 things that you need to do. And so when you have these things ready and operating like this from the early stages, then when you hire someone, you can show them these lists and you can tell them exactly what to do to run your business. In this way, you'll be building a good operation system for your brand and for your future employees, and this will also help you to scale your business in the future. So those were the 7 things to know before starting an e-commerce business. If you have additional tips, you can put them in the comments below. If this video was helpful or added any value, please give us a big thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in comments below if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer most of them, and I'll see you in the next one.